I told myself that for the next few videos, I was going to delve into a part of the show that didn't leave me in a puddle of tears. You can see how well that went. I saw something that put a hook into my brain, and I just had to explore it further. So thank you all for joining me as we take a closer look at this.
A nightingale sang in March.
A lot of people have asked, how is this song playing on the radio? Did Crowley have it ready? Did Aziraphale send it as a message? Did the Bentley play it because, it's sentient now and it's their car and it's trying to comfort Crowley? But I want to ask a slightly different question. Why is this song playing and what does it mean? I ask this because I think the answer, when we get there, will be important, and we might just find another hidden gem along the way. If you can't wait to see the hidden gem, check the link in the description for the full 3-minute clip. Please, please watch it through to the very end, then come back here and let's talk about it. I know many of you are already familiar with the symbolism of the nightingale, and this song in particular, but let's refresh our memories and look closely at the details to see if they can help us find an answer to our question about what it means. Nightingales are mentioned in one of the oldest works of Western literature, Homer's Odyssey, and they have a symbolic meaning in that work. Like many literary symbols, the meaning of the nightingale has changed over time, adjusting to the ideals of the times. Homer linked the nightingale's song with the coming of spring, but the Greeks linked it more with tragedy and great sorrow. In medieval Persian literature, the nightingale's song was a symbol of a lover who is passionate but doomed to love in vain. Shakespeare also used the nightingale in Sonnet 102, and in Romeo and Juliet, after spending one night together, they hear a bird and discuss whether it is a nightingale or a lark. In Milton's Paradise Lost, a piece of work that seems to have at least somewhat influenced Good Omens, the nightingale is associated with lovers. Milton refers to its song as amorous. The more recent poet, in relation to Homer anyway, Percy Shelley, saw the bird in a bittersweet light, writing, "A poet is a nightingale who sits in darkness and sings to cheer its own solitude with sweet sounds." Though John Keats wrote in Ode to a Nightingale of its joyful song, as it was seen as innocent from human suffering. Like Crowley and Aziraphale's relationship, the symbolism of the nightingale has changed shape through history, slowly taking on the modern meaning we are more familiar with today. By the time the song A Nightingale Sang in Berkeley Square was written in 1939 and recorded in 1940, the nightingale was highly romanticized and had taken on both the joyful and the sorrowful, bittersweet symbolism of the past. Originally written by Eric Moschwitz and music by Manning Sherwin and performed by Elsie Carlisle, it has since been covered by many artists including Nat King Cole, Frank Sinatra, Mel Torme, and Rod Stewart. You can find a link to the original 1940 recording in the description. The recording you hear in Good Omens is performed by the legendary Tori Amos and was recorded especially for the show. The original song was very popular on release in Britain and quickly gained popularity overseas in the US as well. World War II was well underway, and the sweet, wistful, romantic lyrics were appealing to people living in nations torn by war. The lyrics are about two lovers who meet in Berkeley Square for a tryst. At the end of the night, they part with a kiss. It's left unknown if they will meet again, or if this one night together was all they will ever have. As with most art, it's open to interpretation, but the lyrics seem to say that the song of the nightingale in the middle of a bustling London is unlikely, maybe even impossible. But it happened all the same. This meaning, the improbable, almost impossible nature and existence of the love between Crowley and Aziraphale is, as narrated by God herself, the clear and beautiful sweet symbolism of the song in the finale of Season 1. But the song was originally written and recorded at a time when lovers were being separated, as men went off to war, leaving their partners behind, leaving the future of each relationship in turmoil and doubt. It came to represent the longing for loved ones separated by war and the hope of someday being reunited. This is the bittersweet nature of the song, and the aspect I think we see reflected in the finale of Season 2. The same song, two different meanings at two different times. But like many things in Good Omens, there's another layer when you look closer.
I don't hear anything.
That's the point. No nightingales.
I've seen a lot of confusion over this line in the final 15. Many viewers, including myself the first time I saw it, didn't really understand the significance of the line or even why Crowley said it. After all, God said that even though a nightingale sang that night 3 years ago, no one heard it. She's the only being who knows about the reality-bending, improbably singing nightingale. So why did Crowley say, no nightingales? And why did that, of all the things both he and Aziraphale just said, make Aziraphale pause, stop talking, and just look at Crowley with this face? In both Season 1 and Season 2, we get flashbacks to 1941. I don't think it's a coincidence that this is the only period of their relationship that we've seen more than once. In Season 1, we see Aziraphale's attempt to help the war effort by catching some Nazi spies go awry, when Crowley shows up out of the blue, as he often does, to save him, and in this instance also save his books. This event, where Crowley knows enough and cares enough about Aziraphale to protect the books, is a big turning point in their relationship. Here, Aziraphale accepts the lift Crowley offers him, and they spend quite some time together. This minisode deserves its own very thorough analysis, which I will be doing next week, but there are a few things we should discuss in relation to this song because it was a popular piece of music in Britain during this period. We see them spend a lot of time together, go through quite an adventure, and at the end, we see what might be described as their very first truly romantic moment. We also know that at some point in 1941, presumably after the events we've already seen, Aziraphale does the apology dance. So from that we can deduce that this candlelit dinner was not the end of this particular encounter. We can only guess at what happened, but based on the fact that the song is playing at the Ritz at the end of Season 1, and that Crowley says no nightingales in some sort of reference to an end or at least a parting of their relationship, and that Aziraphale seems to understand the reference, my guess is that they both view this song as their song. At some point during this period of deeper bonding that happened in 1941, they heard the song, and now both of them associate it as theirs, as meaningful to them. And it's been theirs ever since. Just like Every Day became Gabriel and Beelzebub's song, because it was the song they heard when they first started to form a closer bond. This makes sense in the story structure as well, as we see many elements of Gabriel and Beelzebub's relationship reflected in Crowley and Aziraphale. Now, we've brushed away some of the murkiness surrounding why this song is, most likely, so important to them as a couple. And although it's all pointing us in one direction, we still haven't answered the initial question. Why is this song playing in the Bentley at the end, and what does it mean? Having analyzed Good Omens pretty much nonstop for the last 2 months or so, there are certain patterns I'm picking up on. That chiastic structure, the mirroring, the left and right dynamic, places to look for clues. And the deeper meaning of each piece of music we hear is one of those patterns, those places. From the music playing in the Bentley when Crowley drives, to the background music in the record shop or the coffee shop, none of it is randomly chosen. It all pertains to the situation happening, the characters in the scene, the themes, even the plot, as with the Shostakovich records. And if you watch my videos, you'll know my friend Jomaj found a piece of music hiding under another piece of music, with just a little clue to us, the audience, that it was there. That clue and that hidden piece of music was in the first modern-day scene of Season 2. So knowing what we know now about the chiastic structure of this show, that mirroring, I think it's reasonable to look at the final scene and see if we can find this idea reflected. Music hiding under music. So let's look again at the end sequence. I know this is hard and I'm sorry. Aziraphale gets in the elevator, Crowley gets in the car. The radio starts up when he starts the car, and we just hear this one line from the song.
A nightingale sang.
He listens for a moment, looking like his soul was just steamrolled. Then Crowley turns off the radio, and this is what we hear. This heartbreaking piece of music, and it's real, and it means something. At this moment, this is what they feel. This is also what we, the audience, feel. But like the Shostakovich record, this piece of music has another piece hidden underneath. And just like the Shostakovich record, it's a hidden message of hope. If you play A Nightingale Sang in Berkeley Square by Tori Amos, the one made just for this show, from beginning to end lined up exactly over this clip, the results seem intentional. I am not the first to observe this. That credit goes to Daria Mioy, who has given me permission to share it. Their original Tumblr post is linked in the description. Please check that out. I've created my own clip of the song over the end credits in place of the beautiful, heartbreaking music by David Arnold, and it is also linked in the description. It's really worth a look if you want to understand my conclusion, and also so you can decide for yourself if this is intentional or just a case of apophenia, that's humans seeing patterns where none exist. So please go and watch the 3-minute clip, then come back and finish this video. In light of the revelation of the perfectly matched song, let's look just one more time at the end sequence to try and answer the question. Crowley turns on the car and the radio is playing their song. Crowley turns off the radio, and on the surface what we hear is this heartbreaking swell of sorrow. But underneath that, secretly, their song is still playing.
A nightingale sang.
Everywhere, on the airwaves outside, the nightingale is still singing. It's just that in this moment they can't hear it over the sound of their own heartache. But it's still there, right enough. Well, first off, who do I think is responsible for the song playing in the Bentley? I don't know. I'm sorry, I know that's not the most satisfying answer. What are the possibilities? There's Crowley, there's Aziraphale, and there's the Bentley. Is it the Bentley? Possibly so. Of those 3 options, the Bentley seems to me the most likely, but I think there's a 4th possibility, and I'm not saying I buy this one, but it is one I haven't seen mentioned yet. The only being who knows for a fact that a nightingale did in fact sing in Berkeley Square, if you get my drift. I honestly don't think we'll ever get an answer to this question. I'm not even sure there is a right answer. It could just be here for us to ponder and share ideas about. What do you think? Who is responsible for the song being on the radio, and what, if anything, do you think it means? Season 1 and Season 2 were very tonally different at the end, but they do reflect that chiastic structure, that mirroring effect. And although we've seen numerous flashbacks of their history together through time, the only period we've seen in both seasons is 1941. So my actual prediction is that this story will be the through line between all 3 seasons, and we'll see another minisode about their adventures together in 1941 in Season 3. Maybe we'll see the apology dance, or the first time they do share this song. Without a doubt, we will be hearing this song again.
What do you sell that calms people down?
Eccles cakes?
Some Eccles cakes, please.
Why does Nina offer Eccles cakes to Aziraphale when he asks for something that calms people down? A little looking around reveals that they aren't just a tasty treat still enjoyed in England today, but that they have a bit of a wild history. They were served at an event called an Eccles Wake, founded in Eccles, England. I don't know about you, but when I hear the word wake, I think funeral. But to these folks, it meant party. Or maybe, more accurately, partay. The wakes were a 3-day-long event centered around the Feast of St. Mary, which takes place, and I love this about so many Catholic holidays, on the first Sunday after the 25th of August. That's so easy to keep track of. Early in the history of the wakes, people got dressed up in their feast day finest and brought rushes to the church to spread on the floor. I could go on about rushes and cleanliness and late medieval customs, but let's skip all that today. Even this early, the cakes were seen as decadent, and Oliver Cromwell banned them and the celebration in 1650. This ban didn't last beyond his reign, however, and Eccles Wakes and Eccles Cakes came right back into fashion soon enough. The relevant bit, however, is that by the 1800s, Eccles Wakes had become absolutely wild parties, including things like ladies' smock races, where women would scandalously dress down to just their shifts and race each other, the prize for the winner being an elaborately decorated smock. There were also eating contests, jackass races, competitions to catch a greased pig, dancing, and of course,
Alcohol. Quite extraordinary amounts of alcohol.
there was also horribly sometimes animal fighting done for sport. Enough people complained about this wild, out-of-control, excessively indulgent event that it was banned again in 1877. But the cakes escaped the ban this time. All the same, these cakes are historically associated with the wildest, most out-of-control partying possible. So why did Nina suggest them when Aziraphale asked for something that calms people down? Is this just a funny little ironic Easter egg? I mean, what with Crowley and his 6 shots of espresso and Aziraphale's wild party cakes, which Neil said he ate all of later, What is going on with the food and drink in this scene? I don't have an answer. To me, it's just hilarious, and after watching the credits like 10 times, I needed a laugh. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you want to make and eat some delicious Eccles cakes, maybe just in time for Thanksgiving if you celebrate that, the Discord server is hosting an Eccles Cake Baking Day on the 18th and 19th, and we've got other Good Omens themed activities planned all the way through the end of December. In addition, I've got an announcement coming soon for a big community project that will involve all of you and be hosted here on the channel, so keep an eye out for that announcement around the end of November. Thank you to all of my lovely patrons and to my newest patrons, Joe Madge and Laura Smith, as well as very special thanks to my new super patron, Madman D, who helped buy an Aziraphale Crowley AI chatbot for our Discord server, which is now accessible to everyone. If you didn't hear in the latest video, the Mini Monday videos are temporarily being moved to once per month during the holidays. I do still have costume analysis coming both this month and in December, and if you like what I'm doing here and want to be part of it, check out my Patreon. I've started adding early sneak peeks and other special content for patrons each week. But to all of you, my lovely viewers, as always, thanks for watching.